Okay, Sig Sauer guy here. This is going to be the second video reassembly of the P320 FCU. We have it all completely disassembled. You can see there's nothing in our chassis. The Sear housing and everything has been disassembled, so let's get started putting it back together. So the first thing we're going to do is with the Sear housing here, we're going to install that little spring that goes in this side here. This little spring here. Slide it in there just like that. Okay. On this side, we're gonna put the disconnector back on it, and we're gonna put a little dab of grease right in the channel that it rides in. So we'll lube that up a little bit, and then we'll put our disconnector right in there like that. Okay, it goes up and down like this. So we're going to take that and we're going to drop that into our chassis. Just like that. Basically we got the hole. Just like that, lined up. And that's the one that we're going to insert our pin back in. This is like a little roll pin. You gotta basically smash it in there, so don't be afraid to hit it too hard. It comes out very hard, it goes in hard too. Let's see if we can do this on camera. So I'm trying to do it even. So here's the pin right here, a little bit sticking out. Looks like a little bit more sticking out on that side. Doesn't have to be exact, okay? So there you go, that's back in there. It's gonna rotate because there's only one pin holding it. So our next one is gonna be our, put our safety lever in, okay? That's this guy right here. So the way that this goes in, it goes in just like that. This is the front facing towards the front. That's the top, okay? So you want it in there just like that. It's like a little hook. This is our front. This is the serial number side. This is gonna go against this side, just like that, okay? And then where we're going to line up is the big hole here with the big hole here, using the big pin right here. So I like to lay it down just like this on its side. Slide that in there. And I'll put a pin through it to get it to where it needs to be. Just like that. And then you can use your pin to push your pick out. Kind of feed it through there. Like that. So basically what I do with my pick is I rotate it around in the circle like this, and it kind of self-centers the safety lever or the Sear or whatever you're going through, okay, by rotating it around as you're keeping pressure on the pin, pushing it in. So you can see if this pin's flush here. It's going to be sticking out a little bit here because our takedown safety bar lever goes around that, okay? So next we're going to put our Sear in there. So your Sear has two springs on it. If your springs aren't staying on there very easily, there's a little post that those springs go on. You can put a dab of grease on each post, put the spring on it, because you got to put this in like upside down, so they got to be on there pretty good. Okay, and those are going to go your Sear housing here has two slots right here, one next to each other, like half circle. You feed those springs right down into there, okay? Just like this. Okay. And then the spring's going to want to push it forward, so you got to kind of hold it back. And I'm going to put my pin through the small hole, just like that, to hold it, my pick. And then we're going to use our small pin right here, basically push our pick out. Actually, I went in the wrong side. Just like that. I'm going to use my pin to push my pick out. Now your pin, it's like a little nail. It's got a ridge up here, and it's totally flat here. The flat end obviously goes in, okay? So as we're pushing that in, there you go. And we'll push it all the way in. That little ridge will keep it from going all the way through. So both of them are in opposite side of the serial number. That one goes in all the way, that one goes in all the way. Okay. Then we can actually do a little function check. The springs are working. There you go. It's as easy as that. So now we'll do our takedown safety lever. Just this weird looking one right here. That little leg. And that goes in, that little leg goes inside this slot. You can see the spring in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 90-degree pick, put it as far forward on the spring as possible, pull that spring back, drop the lever down in front of it, and then let the spring go, okay? And then remember, we had this at an angle when we took it out. So we'll put it out like on a little angle like that. That'll help that going back in. Grab the front of the spring with the pick. Just like that. And we're going to slide this back over and up. There you go, just like that. So then we will put the pin in. So this is the side with your trigger. We don't want to put the pin in through this side. We want to go in through the other side because the head of the pin sticks out and that would interfere with the trigger if we put it in through this side. Okay, so we're going to put it right in through here. Push it in. Mine's been taken out a million times, so it goes in pretty easy. If yours didn't come all the way out and it was, you know, hanging out the side here and you left it, that's fine. Then you push it in, just give it a little tap. It'll seat it all the way, okay? So there's that. Next we're gonna do our, I do this slide catch last because it's easier to put the trigger back in without that in the way. So we'll take our trigger bar spring, put those together like that. Then we're going to hook that right through the FCU, just like that. Rotate it forward. And then normally, most triggers, you're going to have the leg of that trigger bar right behind the Sear housing, okay? But because this is the version 2 flat, the one that comes in the X Compact, it's got a higher step here for the over travel. It's a little harder, it's a tighter fit to get in there. So basically the leg on the trigger bar, I put almost even with the Sear housing. And then I'll drop the trigger down in there. and I move the trigger bar around till you feel it catch on the pin on the trigger shoe, right there. I'm holding it down so it doesn't come back out, and then we'll just rotate the trigger bar around. I'm pushing on the trigger with my finger and then dropping it right down inside the Sear housing. There you go. It's that easy. On your slide catch, you got the little spring with a little puck, and then if it keeps falling off, there's a trick. Just put a little dab of grease right on here. And then that little puck will stick right to it. And then we're going to put that in upside down. Lining up these holes. And then sticking our pin in there. There you go. All put back together. So what I'd like to do is put a dab of oil in between your safety lever and your Sear. Okay, you got to put a lot in there. And then I take mine apart all the time. If you're not taking yours apart all the time, you can put some grease on the side of the chassis here and behind the trigger bar. That way that operates a lot easier. Maybe some back here as well. A lot of carbon builds up in this area right here because this is where the end of your chamber is. So when I get home from the range, I take out my slide catch, take my trigger off and everything, and clean that out really good. It takes 2 seconds to do it, so I don't grease it up because I take it apart all the time anyway. So there you have that. We'll install it back into our grip module. Put our takedown lever back in. Put our slide back on. There you go. It's that easy. Do that a few times. Gets to be pretty simple. Then you can take more and more apart when you're doing your cleaning or your maintenance. So there you go. I hope this video has helped. Thank you for watching.